Hello all my beautiful angels, welcome back to my channel. It's me, your girl Shyla, here with another video. Happy, what the hell is today? I don't even know. Happy Monday. I'm just joking with you guys. Happy Monday. I hope that you guys all had an amazing weekend. I hope that you guys did something fun. I didn't really do anything fun. I kind of rested. I had a pretty busy week last week. My house is completely in shambles because I'm getting ready to move. So packing is a pain in the ass, and packing and cleaning, it takes a lot out of me and then I get worn out. So I've kind of taken it easy the last couple of days after doing some packing this week. But I have been busy sending out stuff on Poshmark because my Poshmark account stuff is selling super fast. Today I have a very special video for you guys today. We have a special trans topics video that we're gonna get into. But before we get going on that, let's take a second. Let's like and subscribe to the like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the little bell button. That way you're notified whenever I post a new video. If you're new to the channel, I post every Monday, every Friday, sometimes on Wednesdays. With the bell button turned on, you will get notified whenever I post a new video if I sneak an extra one in there. And if you're a returning subscriber, as usual, I appreciate every single one of you. Also, don't forget to check out my Instagram. I post on my Instagram every day. I put up stories, I put up questions, I put up polls, ideas for new videos, etc., etc., etc. We get to be friends, we get to have a relationship. And can I give you boys some words of advice? Just let me give you some words of advice, because it just amazes me. Because I say in my videos all the time, please don't be creepy or I'm not going to respond to you. And then I'll see messages in my requests from someone I've never heard of before that says, why do you not respond to me? I must be creepy. If you aren't someone that talks to me regularly, commenting on my posts, and not creepy commenting on my posts, if you're creepy commenting all the time and then try to slide into my DMs, I'm not going to fucking answer you. Excuse the language, but I'm not going to answer you. If you're making good, productive conversation in my posts and then you post something, and then you send me something in my DMs, I have a much better chance of responding if we've been building up a friendship that way first. Because I gotta be honest, most guys don't leave nice DMs. Most guys are creepy. I don't even want to get into the DMs I get on there. Anyway, now that I've said that, I shouldn't say most guys are creepy. I'm sure a lot of guys are really, really sweet. So don't make it sound like I'm like a hater or anything. Anyway, I digress. Where was I at? What was I talking about? I got so sidetracked. Also, don't forget to check out my Poshmark like I talked about in the beginning. I'm going to have it linked down below. I've been posting new stuff there. I'm going to be posting more stuff on there. After I move, I'll be posting even more stuff. Stuff that I get from my try-ons. I am really, really bad at just returning stuff, especially if I order something from like Fashion Nova, because the returns are ridiculous. So I'd rather just pop it on my Poshmark and give it back to you guys if it doesn't fit or I don't like it. That seems easier. I will be talking about it in my try-on stuff that I got that I didn't like, so keep an eye out for that. Today's video is a special trans topics video I filmed while I was doing my surgery, and I met this really, really amazing woman. Actually, I met several amazing women, but I interviewed, her name is Donna Bennett, and she is 56, I think she said, 56 years old. And I wanted to do this video because every trans woman has a story. Every trans woman, every trans man, we all have stories. We all have a story to tell, and I wanted to get perspective because she's a generation older than me too. Most girls on here, like when I started my transition, generally, especially with social media now, anyone who starts a transition is probably going to be on YouTube looking up stuff, looking up videos for other people, looking up videos from influencers to get an idea of what to expect, where to go with it, etc., 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 especially if they don't have a lot of people to talk to. It's a lot easier to watch videos and associate yourself with someone like that as opposed to talking to someone first. It's a good way to learn about yourself without having to talk to someone and deal with that, especially for someone older. Like, we're older, so we didn't grow up in the age of social media and YouTube where it was easy just to get answers. But I wanted to get this video from her because I do get a lot of older transgender people that message me and ask me if I think they're too old to transition, or if, you know, what hardships I've gone through. So I kind of wanted to get her point of view, her ideas, you know, and in hopes that, where I was going with the previous statement is, in hopes that if there's any older transgender people out there that are looking on YouTube, that are looking for answers, they have someone that is older that they can associate with, that's going to be of a similar age, you know, I know when I when I very first started doing this, you know, I was looking around YouTube, and there's so many amazing transgender women out there for role models to look at, like Julie Vu and Samantha Lux and Dawn Marie, and there's so many beautiful, amazing, inspirational transgender women out there, Steph Signotti, but they're all younger. They're all in their, you know, early 20s, you know, and sometimes they're even like younger than that. And, you know, you can associate with them, but their life experiences are going to be different than our life experiences. So it's nice to have someone that you can relate to, not associate with. That's a better word. That you can relate to that's been through similar things, that understands things similarly to you because they grew up in a similar time that you grew up in, and might have similar life experiences to you. I hope that you guys like the video, and I will see you guys back next Friday with another video. So, welcome, Donna.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to do this and be on here with us. So, Donna, let me ask you, how old were you when you figured out you were transgender?
About 6, maybe 7 years old.
6, 7 years old. Okay.
And one of the things that really brought it home was when I was a Cub Scout. In the October PAC meeting, my mom, October being Halloween month, well, the PAC meeting had a Halloween costume event for the PAC meeting, and my mom dressed me up as a girl. And the minute she dressed me up as a girl, it was done. I from that point on, I always wanted to be a girl, and I didn't win first place at the PAC meeting, but I just knew from that moment on, I always wanted to be a girl. And, you know, but like I said, from the time I was 6 or 7, and then the first time I was ever dressed as a girl for the whole evening, it was like, it was a done deal.
Like, yeah. The random time you would actually include a girl into your group of friends that you played with, did you ever like have that experience where occasionally you would invite one into the group and you would end up over playing with her, like, and you'd end up playing with her toys too, and it would be so much different that you kind of wanted to?
Well, I grew up with 2 sisters, so there were always...
See, I grew up as an only child.
Oh, I grew up with 2 sisters, and there were always girls around, and and being the oldest, it was kind of like I was always trying to tag along with them, trying to be part of the girls, and I looked at like all the girls, even when I got older, as not like potential boyfriend girlfriend, but like just regular girlfriends.
Okay.
And I mean, and that's the kind of relationship I was wanting, not a more traditional, you know, the boyfriend girlfriend thing. It was just like, no, I just, you know, I want to be with you guys and, you know, talk about. But growing up in Orange County, California, you know, we always went to the beach, and I just, you know, I always laid out my towel with the girls, and because there was a group of like 15, 20 of us that we walked down to the beach almost every day during the summertime. Yeah.
But I'm assuming growing up similar, I would say because you're about 12 years older than me, 12 to 13 years older than me, still a generation older than me. That's about a generation older, right? 10 years. So it was still, I assume, probably similar to me, whereas it was something you didn't talk about, those types of feelings back then.
Never.
Right. Because even you grew up in Orange County, even a bigger town like that, as opposed to a smaller place like where I grew up in Reno, even still, it was something you didn't talk about back then.
Well,
and it obviously is, I mean, I didn't even know what transgender was back then. It was either,
right.
Only thing I knew was gay and lesbian.
Right, and and back then, like you just said, you were either gay or you were lesbian. It wasn't a matter of well, are you transgender or or anything like that.
There weren't all of the subgroups to go with it.
Yeah,
so
there was just one group
for identifiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like,
yeah, you were either normal or you were gay.
right, and
those are your two choices.
And I hate to, and as bad as that might sound, that is literally how it was for pretty much everybody. You were either normal or you were gay.
Yeah.
And that gay umbrella covered everyone, the gays and the lesbians. It was either normal or gay. But it was like, and looking back, my mom was pretty open. My mom was pretty open. A pretty open woman. She was very free-spirited, like I've talked about on my channel, and I feel like if I would have told her my feelings, she would have been very accepting and supportive of my feelings. But there was just so much fear and stigma for the time, like the movies you watch. It was there were jokes in TV shows. I mean, it was everywhere that you didn't talk about those types of feelings. It would be very scary to actually admit them or to say them, even to someone that was supportive. How long have you been transitioning for?
5 years.
5 years. So you waited until you were 50?
Right. What brought it about was my aunt's grandson had transitioned, and he was 18 years old, and I'm going, my gosh, this young man has done nothing in his life, and he gets to transition. And I've already been married this long. I've got 2 great kids. I've had a military career. I've got a career. I've been to college. I've been paying taxes since I was 17, and he's getting to live the life. And I just said, today's the day it stops.
And I'm really glad that you brought up your career and your military career, because something that can be really scary and is definitely something that's different for older transgender women like myself and like yourself is compared to, and I'm not putting down any of the younger transgender generation, like anyone in their 20s or anyone in their teens or anyone that's going through it, because everybody has their own hardships. But one of the things to really think about is that a lot of times when you're older, you already have an established career, and it's something that you have to think about if you're willing to put that career in jeopardy, because at some places, I mean, it's not supposed to affect you, but being true and being honest, I mean, it can affect you. It may or may not, your transition, because that's just how it is. Something that you definitely have to think about. Was having your career already in place, something that you've been doing, a fear for you when you decided you were going to do it in transition?
No, because I've been with my current company for quite a few years, and they've been traditionally very positive about people doing this, and so I didn't have a problem there.
Correct. Let me ask you a question here. What were your 3 biggest fears going into your transition at your age? Does that sound bad at your age?
No.
Okay. I don't want to make it sound bad, because you definitely don't look as old as you are, girlie.
Oh, thanks. I really didn't have any fears because I'd been married for 32 years, and I didn't have any fears really transitioning, because I thought, well, I've got established friends, and we're good friends, and I won't lose any friends, and I've got a good, strong marriage, and I've got 2 great kids, and I didn't have any fears. And then the minute you transition, well, that's when the poo hits the oscillating blade, and everything that you had in place and planned is no more. I mean, I ask myself all the time, I was married for 32 years, and I don't know if losing that person after 32 years was worth this, because we made this decision together, and now I'm all by myself. My children have changed their names. name. My spouse, on the day of the divorce, changed her name, and I really didn't have any fears because I didn't think, this huge puzzle that I'd been building my whole life was ever going to get torn apart and torn in back up into a million pieces, and then I'd have to start all over. So I really thought I was squared away and I was pretty much bulletproof. Well, you're never bulletproof.
So she was supportive of you.
Mm-hmm.
She was supportive of you doing it, but then once it actually started happening, it became too much for her.
Right.
Was it just became too much for her, or was there like pressure from family and friends?
There was pressure from friends, and then there was the ostrich with the head in the sand syndrome of, well, if I just don't say anything about it, it won't happen, and things like that. And next thing you know, I'm the Antichrist, and because where I live, it's very religious right.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I became the Antichrist, and she couldn't see herself as a lesbian, and so we wound up getting divorced.
Okay.
So we ought to start our own YouTube chick, the Squirmin' Chicks.
The Squirmin' Chicks?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you see us shifting, if you sit in one place for too long with the surgeries that we had, definitely it starts to get sore and it starts to hurt and you gotta shift. So we're almost done though. Squirmin' Chicks. Okay, so this is a good question for you. Knowing the struggles that you've been through and the hardships that you've been through with your wife and your kid, or your ex-wife, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
and your kids, would you go back and change it and not transition?
It's a yes and a no question. That's something that has to come down to you. All I can tell you though is for 50 some years, every day I woke up wishing I was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 years ago when I transitioned, I've not one day woken up and wished, God, I wish I was a guy.
For the last question, what advice could you give to anyone that is in your generation who is watching the video, happens to be watching, and is afraid to transition and wondering if they're too old to transition? What advice could you give them?
Mostly follow your heart. That's the first thing. And then if you're really serious about doing this, formulate a plan and then start working your plan. And don't try and do it all in 1 month or 2 months. These are long-ranging plans. Such as yourself, from the time you started to today has been...
Transitioning takes time.
Yeah, and for me, I thought I'd be done within 24 months, and then 24 months turned into 48 months, and 48 months turned into almost 7 years. So life gets in the way, but if life gets in the way, you still work your plan. It's like, so you didn't get what you thought you'd get done in 2 years, it got done in 3. So, but still work your plan, and just, you'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the tortoise and the hare. You don't want to be the hare. You want to be the tortoise, because you're going to finish the race if you're the tortoise, and you won't burn up from exhaustion and lack of energy being the hare.
The best results and the best things come to those who don't shortcut
Mm-hmm.
the process. Like I said many times, about many things, surgeries, hormones, it all takes time. Don't shortcut it. Same with your transition. And
Mm-hmm.
most importantly, never be worried that you are too old to live as your true self or to be happy. Everybody deserves to be happy. Every single person, and especially for our generation where, like we talked about in the beginning, stuff is so muffled.
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be people that don't understand, like I've said in videos before, but you're going to make room in your life for new people that do understand.
What you said is very true, because if I hadn't come down this journey, I would have never met you.
Exactly. Exactly. And isn't Donna amazing? She's such an amazing woman.
Oh, thanks. This is just me every day. It's not amazing. This is just me, but
Sometimes just being you can be inspirational and amazing.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
And as you know, look at some of the other people from the doctor's office that are the support staff that are helping us, and it's like, my gosh, I've never had people who are like this, who are genuine, and actually care about what's going on with you, to the point where they're giving you their phone number and saying, hey, if you got a problem 9 months from now, give me a call.
Yeah, everybody has been so seriously, so nice and so supportive.
Yeah, so the thing about, well, like you said, you're going to lose some friends, and that's the hard facts. Well, one thing right there, that's the hard facts. I thought I had bulletproof friends that I'd had for 30 years, almost 40 years. And like you had said in one of your videos, I actually had somebody who I looked at as a mentor and was actually guiding my career. And when I came out, and we were great friends with he and his wife, and we used to go places and go and do things together. And when I came out, no, persona non grata. We don't. In fact, why don't you just delete our phone numbers? Well, because we'll never call you ever again, and we don't want you calling us.
Yeah.
And but since then, I've made new friends, and because men are going to start looking at you differently, and then the women where I work, I knew the women where I worked, but of the 8 women of where I work, 7 of them are my friends, and we go out to the movies, we go shopping, we go out and have breakfast on our days off.
Isn't it amazing the relationship that you build with them after you start your transition, and the ones that are genuine people, genuinely good humans that see you as the person you are, as opposed to only seeing you as the person you were, and want to build that relationship with you, and you learn about them and become their friend, whereas you would have never had that relationship with them before.
Correct.
Isn't it amazing how that works? I still have 3, 4 really good friends from the place that I worked that I became friends with after I started my transition, that are just amazing, wonderful women that have all messaged me since I've been here during surgery, asking me how I'm feeling, saying we need to hang out when I get back. And it's just amazing the relationships you build with people you wouldn't have been friends with before your transition.
Right. And the other thing is once you become a woman, it's these kinds of relationships, because when I was a guy, I mean, they're just people I work with, and that's it. They're not like friends. They're just, they're just people I work with.
Like acquaintances.
Yeah, acquaintances.
Right.
People I know.
Yeah, I think we're going to wrap up the little video, because I'm about ready to go lay back in bed with some ice on me. That, guys, we are all done. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that if any of you are watching this, if you were older, if you have any questions for me, if you ever want to message me about it or have questions about transitioning, leave comments down below. You can always DM me on Instagram if you're working on your transition and have any questions. And other than that, I will see you guys in our next video. Love you all.
Bye-bye.